Ilharg the Raze-Boar versus Leovold, Emissary of Trest. We're up against a friend of the channel, so not only are we going to attempt to prey on Leovold, we're going to prey on a friend of the channel as well. Luckily we get into a faithless looting off of that. Coercive Portal is not terrible either. So hopefully we can get something going here. Draw a couple of cards and discard a couple of cards with faithless looting. Well, no lands there. We can get rid of the Sundial of the Infinite. Do we want Inferno Titan or a Battle Sphere? Much as it pains me, I'm going to have to get rid of the mere Battle Sphere there. And hopefully we will draw into a land next turn, or at least the turn after. And that is much better, so let's get down the Swiftfoot Boots ready for our commander. Leovold, Emissary of Trest is a 3-mana Sultai 3/3. Each opponent can't draw more than one card each turn. Whenever you or a permanent you control becomes the target of a spell or ability an opponent controls, you may draw a card. So typically speaking, our opponents usually want to wheel with Leovold and therefore have us discard our entire hand. Probably be seeing our opponent's commander next turn. We get into another land off the top. Why don't we just go for faithless looting and see if we can get anything else going. Ancient Tomb means Ilharg next turn. Now, I don't really want to ditch the Wasteland, but I think I have to. In fact, why don't we go for the Coercive Portal? I don't want to get rid of the Coercive Portal, but I don't think it's going to be fast enough for us this game. Ilharg the Raze-Boar is a 5-mana 6/6 with trample. Whenever it attacks, you can put a creature from your hand onto the battlefield tapped and attacking, and then return it to your hand at the beginning of the next end step. And here is Leovold, Emissary of Trest. Alright, now the question is, do they have any kind of removal? I don't think we can take a turn off here, so let's just go for our commander. And we'll just have to hope that they don't have any removal for it. Because if we can get a Swiftfoot Boots down onto it next turn, we can swing through here and drop an Inferno Titan. And I'm not above wastelanding one of their lands. 1, because it's Leovold, but 2, because they have a Deathrite Shaman for more mana, and now they've just dropped another land, so getting rid of their breeding pool sounds like a good idea. Well, not as good an idea then, with a Cultivate in hand. Alright, so how's about... yeah, we'll go for Valakut, just to get the tap land out of the way, and then it's Haste and Hexproof onto our commander. Now let's see if they have Pongify. Luckily for us, they do not. Ilharg is really bad against removal heavy decks. We swung in, so we're going to get to drop an Inferno Titan on our opponent, which will Lightning Bolt the Leovold. They'll get to draw a card there, but they have to recast their Leovold for 5 mana if they want to go for a wheel effect. There's a Mystical Tutor. So they get to tutor before the draw, so they will draw into this card before their draw step next turn. Okay, going for a Bribery. That is a really good card against us because we want to cheat in big heavy hitters. And it also probably means that Inferno Titan can't swing in as effectively next turn. As well as Ilharg, actually. Not too sure what we're going to do about that from our opponent. Bounce back the Inferno Titan, and we have got our opponent down to 17 points of life. In Magic Online, you tend to come up against blue control-y, draw lots of cards, decks, and Ilharg is just not too good as a commander against those decks. If you can rush him out with haste, you really need a god hand pretty much to get Ilharg rolling. Because if your opponent manages to remove him in response to attacks, or, well, pre-combat attacks, or trying to equip him up with haste and hexproof or shroud, yeah, then you just have to keep recasting him, and by that point you might as well just be hardcasting these big creatures that you're trying to cheat out. Okay, there's a combustible gear Hulk with first strike, so that will kill our Ilharg. If we swing into it, let's just take some damage here. Now we just need to really hope that we get into some kind of big creature. Duplicant is a perfect draw. So let's wasteland the breeding pool. The least amount of blue our opponent has, the better. And then we will attack him with Ilharg. That will trigger and we'll get down Duplicant. We'll exile our own combustible gear Hulk. And then we are on for hardcasting the Inferno Titan. We'll definitely use Duplicant's ability. I don't mind getting down a free Duplicant every turn. And then Inferno Titan, we're definitely going to get rid of the Deathrite Shaman, because that's just less mana for our opponent. Don't really care about our graveyard getting exiled, but the less mana they have, the better. They're going to have to tap out if they want Leovold down again now. So we'll see if our opponent wants to hardcast Leovold or if they've got something else in those now 7 cards that they've got in hand. And there's a Windfall. That just gives us a free grip of cards. We get into Aggravated Assault, which will allow us to untap all our creatures and then have an additional combat phase. That's not going to be very useful. I was just going to say that's not going to be very useful because we don't have multiple creatures to get out with Ilharg. But our opponent's down to 4 anyway, and clearly they didn't like what they wheeled into, so they decided to concede there. All we had to do was turn everything sideways and we win that one. So it's a good game to our opponent, friend of the channel like I said, and we managed to prey on Leovold, Emissary of Trest yet again. Hope you all enjoyed it. I'm tribalkai on the EDH channel. Thank you for watching.